Hello, I'm Eva Malice, and I'm in New York City. I'm here with my colleague, Mary Miles of the Hellenic Film Society, and today we have the great pleasure to interview the wonderful actress, Mariella Savvides, who's joining us from Athens, Greece.
Hi.
Nice to meet
Mariella, Mariella is a true triple threat. She sings, she dances, and she acts, having an international career in Cyprus, Greece, and France. Her recent works include films like Army Baby and Dodo, the television series Min Archizis Ti Murmura, Don't Start Nagging, and Pios Papadopoulos. And she even sang the Weeknd's chart-topping song during 2017's Mad Walk show. And according to Madame Figaro, Cyprus, Mariella is Estee Lauder's Woman of the Year 2022 for not only her incredible talent, but also her advocacy work against body shaming, bullying, homophobia, and domestic abuse. So Mariella, let's start at the beginning. You were a little girl in Cyprus, growing up in this unusual multilingual home. So how did this work? Did your languages become your characters? Like, is this where this acting bug kicked in? How was this growing up at home?
Well, actually, I was brought up in Cyprus, and my parents lived abroad for a very long time. So my mother was in Switzerland, my father was in England, and generally speaking, my parents were very loved the idea of us, learning new languages very, very young. So at a very young age. So we went to an English kindergarten there. We spoke French at home because we had a French nanny at home. And generally, we tried to learn as much. I mean, languages were always very interesting to me because I spent my younger years translating. I love being everyone's interpreter, translating from French to Greek, from Greek to French to English, and back and forth. So yeah, I mean, I believe it's something that helped me a lot. It's very musical also, because different languages have different intonations, different accents. So I mean, it's something that I really liked as a kid, and it was something that I loved doing in class. Also, learning a new language. I started learning Italian when I was 7, and then when I was 10, I started learning German. I haven't spoken German in a very long time, but I always loved languages.
And you hold a graduate degree in sociology. So you were an academic person. You were a smart kid, not that, but how do you go from sociology and academia and this rigorous study to acting or performing or having that need to be out there and perform?
Well, actually, I started acting much before going to the London School of Economics to do sociology as a master's degree. I always loved doing musicals and plays, and I was always active in that. I always participated in groups in university. I auditioned, and I went to acting school when I was in university. I was also a student at the acting school in Paris, and I went to university all at the same time. It wasn't that easy, but it was really fun. And I haven't regretted it. To me, it was a wealth of the soul, if I can say. So acting was always in my life, singing, acting. My biggest love is musicals. So it was something that was inside of me all along.
And you were in Mamma Mia.
Yeah, Mamma Mia, right?
Yeah, Mamma Mia, and I also did other plays in France, and I did Marijuana Stop, the Greek film with Tolis Voskopoulos. A year before Tolis Voskopoulos passed away, there was a remake in Greece of the musical film Marijuana Stop, and with Mimis Plessas, and I was part of that too in Athens. And generally, I also like the singing part of my job.
So as diverse as your background has been, so have your roles. I mean, you've had a number of varying roles. How do you choose these roles? I mean, what is your process?
You mean like the acting roles?
Whether it's the acting or the singing or the television
Okay.
or the film.
I always try to follow my gut. Like when I get, you know, in Greece we don't have agents. You know, it doesn't work like, you know, it's not like the States. Agents are non-existent here.
Mhm.
So basically, when I get a proposal for something, when I get when a new project arrives, I always weigh inside of me how it feels and decide if it's something that I want to do, if it's something that will take me places, which will take me, which will teach me things, make me evolve. And that's how I decide if I want to do it or not.
You act, you sing, you dance. What is your favorite thing to do?
Actually, I wouldn't say I'm the best of dancers. Okay. I'm much better at singing and acting.
I thought the dance scene in Army Baby was fantastic.
Captivating, captivating.
I love that scene. I love filming that
It's
scene. That was
wonderful.
really fun.
I could watch it over and over again, honestly.
That was really fun. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I love all of them. And generally I like combining things. To me, it's like, and also sociology is all about ethnography and all about observation, and acting is also about observation and like observing human nature and reproducing it. So I wouldn't say it's that far away if you think about it, like the basis of it.
So as a sociologist, playing the variety of roles that you've played, did you learn something about human nature or something about the human spirit that maybe you didn't appreciate as an academic?
That I didn't appreciate as an academic. It's a difficult question. I wouldn't know what to answer to that. Can you repeat the question so I can?
I hope I remember it. I just made it up.
Well, I think part of it is observing. Like when you're an academic, you observe, but as an actor, you live.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Oh yeah.
Is that distinction something that you can bring together, that you can marry the two concepts?
Well, actually, if you think about it, as a sociologist, you study a lot about the profane to the sacred world and all of that, and how all of that Durkheim theory, which was initially had to do with religion and church, has been transposed to television and to the world of media. And what's interesting to me is that I was studying the profane towards the sacred, and now I'm on the other side of the spectrum, and I'm looking to the other side from the sacred to the profane, and it seems very interesting to me. And I do understand that there's a lot about role playing, even in reality TV shows, talk shows, and so much that we discussed and we had studied academically. It's funny that I'm now on the other side and doing it, like I'm the people that they observe. That's the funny thing about it. That's what I was thinking. So yeah, that I would say is funny.
Well, also, I'm just thinking that your sociological background would, I'm sure, be adding depth and enhancement to your performance, because you have such an in-depth understanding of what has motivated people through the generations, and maybe have a certain empathy that the rest of us may not appreciate. So I would imagine it comes in handy.
Yeah, and also, whenever you have to prepare a role, the proper way of doing it is to study about the circumstances of that human being, the historical circumstances, the cultural circumstances, the gender circumstances. And it's something that I'm very, very fond of because of sociology, I like doing that. So to me, I start seeing things a bit more academically at first, and then I go in with my whole being. And I work a character, but there is a side of this which is academic in me. I have an academic side, and I still like reading articles and new studies and all of that. It's something that I really like. I really like the questions of identity. My master's degree had to do a lot with identity. So it's something that interests me a lot.
So then what would your ideal role be? Given your background, your acting resume, and what would be like a project or a role that you would envision as exciting?
Actually, not, I wouldn't say a specific role. I would say something that combines as much of the things that I like, where I can, that would be challenging. That would be the answer to your question. There are many parts also that belong in shows, for example, and in plays and in musicals in the States that would never happen here, which is, I mean, because it's a smaller market, of course, and there is a different cultural understanding of musicals, and only specific musicals would work here. For example, the Book of Mormon would never work in Greece. Right. It would never be a show that would be, appreciated by the Greeks. And I think it's hilarious. I mean,
it's irreverent. It's very irreverent.
It's an award-winning show. Yes.
Yeah. And so many other shows. I think that the Greek audience is still a bit conservative with certain things, especially with religion. I mean, considering religion.
Well, do you prefer film, or would you prefer film, or do you prefer stage, for instance, or TV? Okay,
let me tell you something. Like 3 years ago, before COVID happened, before COVID arrived in our lives, I was telling myself, oh my God, I so want to be in a film. I would love to be in a film. It would be great if I could do a movie. And actually right before COVID, and I did Army Baby, then COVID happened. And then the theaters closed in Greece, and I was telling myself, wow, the theaters are closing. And I did 3 movies. And I don't know why COVID has brought me luck career-wise, I feel, because, I did something that I hadn't done, and that was much more inaccessible, because, movies need a bit bigger budget, because it's much harder to get into, but I really love them. I think every single thing has its difficulty. I think the stage is much more difficult. Let's be honest, the stage is much more difficult. It's like being in a marathon. It's like being, like being an athlete in the Olympics, because there is no, I'm feeling sick. There's no, oh, something happened and I'm, upset. No, you have to like be there and be very, sporty about it, and be, fight
okay, suck it up, like just
yeah, you need to suck it up. The show must go on, all that, and on stage there is no second chance. I mean, there is no, oh, let's reshoot. No. There and then what you've done is what the critic will see on the specific day, if he's there, if there's critics coming, if he sees you on your bad day, that's it. It will come out bad. But yes, the stage is very difficult, I would say, and it needs and the way the stage is done in Greece is very difficult also, because in Greece we do not have what's the word I'm looking for? I can't believe I forgot this word. We do not have, what's the word in English for somebody who's there for you if something happens to you, to come in and step in and play your part? Understudies. Yes, I was thinking of it in French. Anyways, understudies. We don't have understudies in Greece. So imagine if you're doing a show, 7 shows per week for 8 months.
Wow.
Without an understudy.
That's grueling.
And during COVID. Right?
During COVID, there weren't shows. I mean,
yeah, but we still were living with COVID, and it's people are still getting it, and it's out there. And I mean, listen, it could be a cold, right?
Yes,
if
you're
there's
right.
no understudy,
There's no understudy. No, I mean, that's something that needs to, in my opinion, change in Greece, because it's impossible. I mean, big shows, but that's how it works in Greece. And they tell you, you know, you have to be there, fever, no fever, we don't care. Dead or alive, you have to do
Well,
it.
even Hugh Jackman needed to use his understudy a couple of times during Music Man. Just
Yeah, but that's Hollywood. That's
well,
Hollywood.
it's Broadway. It's
Broadway and Hollywood, it's completely different. I mean, there's
Which
a
is,
different.
yeah, but you're human. Humans are humans. But the actual stage, of course, it's for me and a lay person, it's completely terrifying. But I think there's a beauty and a freedom in having to be 100% present for that hour and a half, 2 hour performance versus maybe a film where you have takes, they cut, they reset.
Yeah.
It's the interruption of it. How do you feel about that? Does that make you more present? Is it like more terrifying? Do you have to overcome that, or is it something that you welcome?
You mean stage opposed to the movies?
Yeah, that needing to be 100% present versus having it in intervals for a film.
Well, I think it's something that you get used to. It's something that I work with a lot. I try to exercise a lot. I have a certain routine that I do on the days where I must act. I don't spend my energy here and there. I can't do that. I'm not one of those. I think it was Meryl Streep that said the day that I have a show, she said, I have a show. She said she doesn't do anything else. And I know it's very difficult to do that, but I try to, the hours before the show, I try to shut down and, you know, maybe some people meditate. I don't know. I try to like take a short nap or, you know, to rest, to be alone in the quiet and try to, you know, resource myself. And then I go to the theater, I have my coffee and I go on stage. That's how it works for me. I'm one of those, the nerds.
Well, this is an Olympic sport. You said it.
It is. It actually is. Yes, of course. It actually is. When we did Mamma Mia, the show was going on for 3 hours, and we had double shows on Saturdays. So we had a 15-minute, 30-minute interval between one and the other, and then we had to do the second show. So you better, you know,
have another cup of coffee.
Yeah, you better have your coffee
and your vitamins. Oh boy, that's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah, and you need to be fit. Honestly, you need to be fit in the sense that, you know, you work with your body, you exercise, you stretch it out, you work with your stamina, and you also have to be focused and concentrated.
So this kind of transitions to my next question. So in your Woman of the Year acceptance speech, you said women have, I'm translating from Greek.
Oh my God, you saw that?
So I did, I saw it. And so I hope I'm not killing the Greek, but I think I've got it. You basically said women have a long road ahead with a lot of work to do and many things to prove because we can, and we are extraordinary. To that end, did you have any mentors? And, you know, I like the phrase of, did someone hold the door open for you? And for whom do you hold the door open?
Did someone hold the door open for me? Listen, someone did hold the door open for me in the sense that when Yoros Kapoutsidis was looking for an actress to play the part of Stalo in my first series in Greece, I was in Cyprus. So he had a casting, and he asked 3 different people in Cyprus who work in the media. First of all, this lady who's amazing, who's in RIK, the Cyprus Broadcasting Corporation. And she said, Mariella Savvides. And then another 2 people said, Mariella Savvides. And then I got a call asking me to come to Greece and audition for this part. So, I mean, I'm a strong believer that, you know, when people are, you know, just and correct and objective and also nice, of course, they will open the door for you when you deserve it, of course. And in that sense, I always think of that. And whenever I see someone that is younger and is striving for a casting or whatever, and I have a good, relation with the producer or the director, it's also happened to me to go and say, you call this guy, see this girl or this guy, you will be surprised. And they did get the part, and I'm happy about that. And I feel like it's like giving back and taking back. I don't know. To me, it's like it's a circle of giving and taking and giving back. That's how I think the world works. That's my romantic view of the world.
So
I like it.
Your advice to aspiring actors would be in one sentence?
Okay, one sentence. Come on, you're being stingy. 2, 3.
A paragraph.
Okay, I would say you've opened another discussion now, and I have to say that it's going to take a paragraph. Can I have the paragraph?
Of course.
Go for it.
Okay, so we live in the world of Instagram, and there's many girls and boys who are trying to become influencers and trying to become actors because they went to a reality TV show, and who've spoken to me many times during the past years and telling me, how can I become an actor? I don't want to go to acting school. I also already have like 10,000 followers on Instagram. So the thing is, acting is not easy, and it can be very harsh. And you have to know that you really want to do this, and you have to put the work in it. Nobody can provide a good result if you don't put your ass down and work. Sorry about the language, but like, that's how it works. That's how it works. If you get cast into something because you're an influencer, and I don't know, you might be a star of the moment on Instagram or whatever, because this happens also, you'll do it. But in the end, the audience will have the final word, because they're the ones who decide whether you're good enough or not. So this easy access to the stage or TV or whatever can be very dangerous, because there is not enough maturity to understand that this is something that is difficult. It's not easy. Don't think that because you see a comedy and it makes you laugh and it's hilarious and ha ha and blah blah blah, like you need to spend time to work before you go to your shoot. It doesn't work any other way. And people who work at home, you can see that on set. You can definitely see that on set. And that's my advice. I wouldn't say, I would say, why do you want to become an actor? And I'm saying this because we live in the era of influencers and Instagram. Instagram can be great for many reasons. And I also use Instagram to promote my work. Let's not be, let's be honest, but you cannot, do something that requires so much work just because you're known for something else, and think that, oh, it's going to be fine. I can do it because, I'm known on Instagram. It doesn't work that way. So that's my biggest advice would be, do you really want to do this? Do you like reading plays? Do you like, watching movies? Is it something that you see yourself doing and like putting all the work and effort in it? And if the answer is yes, then do it. That's my biggest advice right now.
Right. I always ask people, why do you want to do it? And you'd be surprised how many times people say, I want to be famous. And then I know they're never going to make it. Because if fame is your goal, it's not about the work, as you said. And
yeah,
it's a job, it's work, it's effort.
But I'm sure that becoming famous makes it much easier for you to be, wanted by producers and all of that. Of course, let's not say we all need fame up to a certain level. But the most important thing to me is to keep in contact with your essence, with yourself, with who you are and what you want to do in life. And I mean, it's something that's very important, and how to handle fame is also a very big question, and how to, it's not that simple.
It's a
And
package, right? It's a
yeah,
package.
it is a package. It is a package. Yes, of
But if
course.
you're only famous, it's fleeting. So you need the hard work and the talent, quite frankly, for the
Exactly.
longevity of it.
Exactly. And you have to be persistent. And also you have to, I mean, who said it? Was it Ariana Grande who said in a song, if I wanted rejection, I would audition? Completely. I mean, because as an actor in most of our acting careers, you will get rejected in auditions. I mean, that's the normalcy of things. And then some you will get, and you will get the job. But the fact that I have to prepare an audition and spend time for something that, I might get shortlisted and not get the job. That's the nature of our work. You have to be prepared for that and have the maturity to deal with it. That's very important too. So what I'm saying is that it's not that easy. It really is not that easy. And it takes great, let's say, it's important to be very well with your mental health too. I always say that. I consider it very important. Now, you're going to tell me you're not a neurosurgeon. You're not going to save someone, who's dying. And, of course, I'm not comparing this to that. But it's something that needs dedication. And if you want to be doing it right, you have to put in the effort. That's how it works.
And I appreciate the fact that you are very open and breaking down these taboo topics, let's say, on your normal Greek TV show, your afternoon viewers, on body shaming, mental health, homophobia. You did a wonderful PSA against homophobia. And do you think that this is something that you must do, or is it something that just comes naturally to you because you're just such a good human?
Such a good human.
You really are. You really are a good human.
That's hilarious. I'm a human. Let's start from there. I'm a human like everyone else. I have my faults. I have my let's say I don't know. I'm a human. Let's start from there. Actually, to me, it comes very naturally because I've always been I've always liked to protect the people who were different and who were targeted by bullying and all of that. Like, it's something that I've always seen, and maybe because we were brought up in a multicultural environment, to me it was very weird to see people making fun of somebody because they spoke I don't know what, or because they had a different skin color, and or because their parents cook different foods from ours. To me, I couldn't understand that. But that's the way we're brought up, which is, again, let's go back to education, why that's so important. So I started, I was also an activist in Cyprus, and we organized the first Pride, and I sang there at the first Pride of Cyprus, of course, before coming to Greece. So before being on TV shows in Greece and all of that. And it's something that was important to me because I had friends in Cyprus who were LGBTQI and had issues with acceptance and all of that. And I said, sure, let's organize it. It was the first Pride in Cyprus. And I thought that there would be 10 of us, the people organizing there. I was like, who's going to come? It might be us and, our friends. And in the end, there were 4,000 people who came, wow, which was huge for Cyprus. And I actually remember there was a lady who was walking with a closet, and she said, I'm here because I want to be here for all those who are in their closet and can't come out. And also at Pride, we had people in wheelchairs who said, can we also join? And we said, of course you can join, because it was all about diversity in the end. It wasn't even specifically about LGBTQI, it was about diversity. So when I came here and I started doing talk shows and all of that, and I had my views out, which was in 2016, I think. I mean, it was things that weren't heard on Greek TV. It was things that were, new to them. And I also believe that also my American education helped me in that, because when you go to an American school, they will tell you that you have to respect everyone. I mean, religion, culture is not an issue. You cannot make fun of anyone about, you know, any of these aspects. So that also helped me a lot. And I had the words for it. So I was contacted by a program of the European Union based in Amsterdam, called Homebad, which is about fighting homophobic and transphobic bullying at school. And so they wanted to do it in Cyprus and implement this program at schools. And they asked me to be their ambassador. And of course I said yes, because it was something very dear to me and that I thought was very interesting. So what they do is they brought their trainers to Cyprus, and they trained teachers and professors of the public and private sector on how to deal with this happening in class. So basically, if a child is bullying another child, you mustn't just take the child that's being bullied. You have to take the other child to that bullies and see why this is happening. Because if the child is being aggressive, most probably there's things going on at home. It's a very, very nice program and very, very helpful. The moral of the story, the point is that these teachers that were trained on how to deal with it, guess what? They don't only deal with homophobic and transphobic bullying, but they deal with all forms of bullying, because kids were making fun of other kids because they were wearing glasses, because they had pimples and acne and I don't know what, because they could have been like skinny, or because they were overweight, or because their parents were divorced. You cannot imagine the reasons why somebody might decide to pick on somebody else. And that's what's happening now with this program. And that's why I'm very proud of all the people running it in Cyprus, is because they're taking care of so many different forms of bullying, because in the end, bullying is, is whether it's for this or that, it's bullying. So I mean, I like the fact that we've planted little seeds in school with these professors who are ready and trained to, take care of this. And I mean, I hope they would do that in Greece too. I hope they do that here too.
What a wonderful program, right? Acceptance.
Yeah, and it has nothing to do with acting. I'm sorry for taking up your time.
No, this is so important. This is so important because we are beyond just our jobs, right?
Of course.
But these are such important messages for everyone. Education, acceptance, it permeates our entire world. It goes into gender equality. It goes into fairness, general fairness in the world, respect.
Exactly. And because most of the bullying happens against femininities, let's say that. It has a lot to do with femininities, and girls get picked on a lot. And they deal with so many different things. And when I started talking about body shaming and all of that on TV, guess what? I got so many messages from moms and girls. I remember I was shocked. I got a message on Instagram from a girl who lives on a Greek island, who was 16. And she was telling me that she was overweight and she was made so much fun of by her family, her cousins, the people in her class, that she couldn't go to the beach, and that the poor girl waited for the sun to set to go into the sea, because that was the only time that she could go into, the water. I thought it was shocking. And so she started sending me messages, and other kids sent me messages. And I thought, what can I do? I mean, I'm not a psychologist, so I will empower them, but I need to do something. So I contacted Olge, which is η ομοφιλοφιλική λεσβιακή κοινότητα Ελλάδος, which is the LGBTQI group of Greece. And I said, guys, I'm getting messages from a lot of teenagers, and teenagers with very dark thoughts. I need you to give me someone that they can contact, that I can send them to, because I'm not a psychologist. I am not a psychiatrist. I can't help them on that, besides, be supportive and all of that. And they gave me phone numbers, and that year they created the line Diplasu, which means next to you. And I sent a lot of kids there. I mean, I gave them the number. I told them, please contact these people. They will help you. Don't stay in the dark. Don't talk to someone. There were kids who told me they couldn't talk to anyone. They had no friends. And for crazy reasons, because they were discovering their sexuality, because they felt that they were body shamed, because they had a lot of hair on their body and people were making fun of them. I mean, the reasons can be, there's an extensive list. That's what I'm trying to say. It's not that simple. There's so many reasons why somebody can pick on someone, and which finally shows that when you want to bully someone, you'll find a way to do it, in my opinion.
Absolutely. You'll pick on any small thing that
Exactly.
But you are shedding such a light, and you are an example of living such a positive and accepting life, that you're not a psychiatrist, you're not a psychologist, but I think you're doing so much to move the conversation forward and to bring resources to people that need it. And that's so important. So thank you for doing it, because it's so, so important. Not many people do it. Not many people do it.
Ahí, Mariella.
No, guys, I'm not a Mariella. I really, honestly,
It's impressive.
I just feel it's so natural for me to do this. It's so normal. It's what should be happening. I do not have children. And if I did, I would want them to have, the opportunity to not be victims of situations like that. I remember somebody asked me, was it on TV? It was on a TV set. It wasn't live. But after I spoke about this, somebody asked me, yeah, but what if you have a kid and your kid turns and tells you, guess what, Mom, I'm gay. What are you going to tell them? And I said, you know what I'm going to tell them? I'm going to tell them, my child, I have to tell you that before you came to life, I did everything in my power so that the world would be much nicer to you, and that you wouldn't have to suffer all the craziness and the hatred and the bigotry going around, that I've done everything in my power. And I truly believe that it's something that I feel I should do and that people should do. And it's funny, because if somebody tells me something, like if somebody body shames me, believe it or not, I might not answer. I mean, I might not react as much. But if I see somebody else being body shamed, I will react immediately. I mean, it's because I know that I can deal with it, because if somebody body shames me, I know who I am. I know my worth. I know that, thank God, in this world, everybody has got, their audience, and like the people who will love them. I mean, in life, as finding a partner, that's what I mean, not as an actress. And that thank God that, we're so different. And like Guru Armada says, if everybody looked the same, we'd get tired of looking at each other. I strongly believe that. So, but when I see people bullying others, that's when I get really upset.
Well,
but no, I'm not Aya Mariella. I'm just a human, and I'm trying to use my fame to do stuff that I feel are needed, very heavily needed.
That's the best use of it. You have a power, and you're shedding that light on things that are really important. And
so to me, my work is not only like being on a stage or being at a festival or whatever. I feel that, I don't know why, but doing all these things, not the acting, I mean, speaking up and saying all this stuff and moving the conversation forward gives me such wealth. It makes me a better person. I feel it makes me happier. It makes me wealthier. So that is something that I have to thank my job for giving me the stand and the possibility to have all these discussions. We're not talking much about acting, but I don't think you mind.
No, this is wonderful because
It is.
this is who you are, and that's
Yeah,
why we're
It
here.
is.
And
But I'm going to
creativity.
ask you our last question, which might be the toughest one yet, but not
Okay.
for us, because
Okay.
I think you're
Because you're on the other side.
yes, I'm on the other side, but I think you're an extraordinary
Because we
person.
already know the answer.
And now, if I were to describe you, I would describe you as ebullient, positive, kind, an advocate. In one word, how would you describe yourself?
Okay. I have a word, it's in Greek.
Okay.
I don't think there's a word for that in English. Philoprodi. It means somebody who likes evolution and progress and who works for that, towards that. That's something that I would describe myself as, philoprodi.
That's wonderful.
Mhm.
I don't know. I mean, that's one word. I could
It
say many more things, but I can add that I'm also very sentimental, and sometimes I'm not as dynamic as I look, and I'm I also have my sentimental moments, but as let's say as the general picture, I would say I'm philoprodi, and I would love to find a word for that in English. Actually, we must find a word for that in English.
We'll find it. We'll find it. We'll share it with you. Well, we can't thank you enough. We've had a great time speaking with you.
I've loved speaking with you too. It was great, girls. I mean, after seeing you also at the festival, it was wonderful seeing you here.
And we hope to see you soon. So go make
Yes.
another movie.
Yes, yes, yes. Would love to come to New York again.
Absolutely. Let us know when you're coming back as well. Definitely.
I will. Thank you so much for everything.